Part 5. So, Crazy Stalker Boy is a father. When I was hanging out with Crazy Stalker Boy, he said that he had a child, but I thought he was such a pathological liar because he would say some crazy shit that I was like, no, you don't. Turns out, whole time, he did. Whole time he's trying to convince me to be his girlfriend. He had a kid. Long story short, how he ended up in the same place as me at the same time is baby mama wanted to break up with him, and he threatened to, and the baby. And when he did that, he said, I'm going to drive us into a semi into oncoming traffic. And she said, calm down, just meet me at this location. And instead of her meeting him, the police met him and put him on an involuntary Baker acted hold, where he ended up with me in the same psych ward under a hum watch and not a SUA watch. Whole time in the psych ward, he gave us a story that he was there for trying to himself. But I noticed he was the only one with a different thing on the board, the H. Now, the people in the program would pull us aside several times and beg us not to hang out with each other, and I had no fucking clue why, but that should have, I don't know, I guess HIPAA protected him, but that should have been a big fucking hey, he's crazy. I mean, we all kind of were, but he's extra crazy. He got an extra scoop of something on him. Fuck. That would have been a nice little disclaimer. The whole time, staff's listening to him flirt with me, tell me how hot I am, all this bullshit. Anyways, I find this out because I call her up. I did the same thing every time. I Facebook messaged these girls and I said, I think you're a victim of so-and-so. I would like to chat with you about it. Experience, what you went through, blah, 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 in hopes that we can all come together and form a court case. She reluctantly agreed and got on the phone with me. She was terrified. She was like, how did you find this out? How did you find me? How did you look me up? Who gave you my name? Of course, for protection and safety reasons, I will never release the name of this person. Yeah. She wishes to remain anonymous, and I don't blame her. We discussed some more intricate details about how his eyes change when he gets excited on hurting people. He gets off on hurting people, and I don't mean that in a weird way. It excites his brain, and he gets a hit of dopamine from it to the point where his pupils dilate. And every girl I spoke to had the same experience, where they would watch his pupils dilate in a way that he was clearly having a good time doing these horrible things to us. Every single girl I spoke to has severe PTSD, is on medications, does intensive therapy. It has ruined the safety they have felt in this life. And yet he walks free. She is one of the ones that did go the court and legal route, and she won. She has a lifetime of order of protection against him and no gag order. But that's because her family has money. The next thing this asshole does right after me in the timeline is he becomes an Uber driver. This is so specific, I feel like he's definitely going to know if he ever saw this. But these girls deserve justice. I see later on that he's been arrested again. Between when it happened to me and between finding this latest mugshot and all of these girls, and I see that he has an essay on a minor charge. And I didn't understand the context of this. I just saw from the police report it was a female minor, and I was super duper concerned because I had learned that he actually did have a child. So I was concerned all of these years because there's no reliable source that it was his child that he did that to. Turns out it was not. Where this essay of a minor charge came from, that he actually got let off pretty easy. He was supposed to register as an essay offender, but they didn't make him do that because they didn't want to ruin his future. He just got a misconduct on his record. But he was an Uber driver who Ubered a 16-year-old, climbed in the back, and took advantage of her. He raped a 16-year-old as an Uber driver. He is a literal psychopath, and his entire family is scared of him. And I don't know what kind of threats he's made against his family, but if you saw the text exchange I have with his mother and shit, I fear for their lives. They fear for their lives. They have PTSD from raising him and from continually bailing him out. And I don't know why they keep doing it. The parents are the sole reason that this guy is not forever put away. They keep intervening in a expensive way that keeps him floating above water. Keeps him from having anything too permanent that would seriously be altering. So there's the girl that he shoved in a trunk as a minor. There's me. There's the baby, mama. There's the 16-year-old. There's another girl. He was abusive to her, but she left in the middle of the night. Now has a beautiful life. And we actually follow each other on social media right now. Hi, Girly Pop. She is one of the girls I connected with and spoke with about this crazy situation. And she and I are mutuals on here. She has a beautiful life, and I wish her nothing but the best. And clearly, I'm not going to go too far into detail, but she escaped the situation, but she was also heavily abused and in a relationship with him. And then there is the stripper he married. He married an SW, a lady of the night. And I don't know anything about her. She was one of the few ones I couldn't find other than court records. And in the court records, it says he couldn't find her either to serve her divorce papers. So I'm not really sure where she ended up. Some of the other girls said they know where she's at, but I do worry about her and think about her often, and I hope she's okay. Because holy shit, like I hope she's not missing. Like, I can't find her. I think everyone says she changed her name, rightfully so, and if she doesn't want to be found, I don't want to find her. But I, like I said, do worry that he was married to her. Suddenly no one can find her. She's dropped off the face of the earth. No one knows her real name anymore. Like, what the fuck is going on here? But there are court records that show this, all of it. There was also the brother that called me shortly after my incident and said that he wanted me to write my story down because Crazy Stalker Boy had punched his girlfriend in the face, and he was going to court against his brother and needed a testimony. At this time, they were not friends, they were not buddies, they were nothing. They were merely brothers that didn't get along. From what I've been told now, they are the best of buds, and he's no longer at odds, which I'm glad they can reconcile, but he's still an evil piece of crap. Like, completely evil. I think I ended up counting 7 or 8 girls, but those are the girls I got to spoke to and got to hear their stories. There's a lot more details that are extremely concerning, and there's a lot more consistencies, and where one story leaves off from one girl, another one picks up. And also, not to air out his business at all, and I never slept with the guy, so don't look at me. But I was told by the other girls that he gave them STDs, which is fucking horrible. And I feel really fucking bad for those girls. He was also really into fat shaming, which he's not a looker himself anymore. All that to be said, I love my life. I'm in a really good place right now. I would never hurt myself. And I believe it is extremely hard for women to get justice, but these stories are the type of stories that need to be told, because there are people that walk amongst us that keep repeatedly getting out of trouble when they deserve to be locked up for the rest of their life. If for some reason he ever commits a crime bad enough where he is locked up for life, I will tell you his identity. But for the safety and protection of myself, I'm going to keep it concealed. People in my inner circle, my friends, they know him. They've seen him. They've met him. And I show them pictures of him all the time so that they can be aware and not run into him. But yeah, it is absolutely insane. All the girls who didn't have enough money to fight this in court have gag orders and are not allowed to speak. All the girls that have been divorced from him, part of the divorce agreement, the lawyer always gets them to sign a gag order. They intimidate them into signing a gag order, which is just fucking disgusting. But I don't have a gag order. I don't have anything, so I can talk about it as much as I want. And it can't be defamation unless you step forward and claim all of these reputations that I've just thrown out. So I suggest if you really don't want the smoke, don't claim it. But none of these girls deserve to live in fear or silence for the rest of their lives, including me.